So your queue popped for Labyrinth of the Ancients. This is the first 24-man raid players will encounter in Final Fantasy XIV, so let's cover some basics. First, feel free to watch cutscenes if you want to. Even if the boss is pulled before you're done, you will be given an option to teleport to the boss's room. When the entry gate lowers, you'll see your party and 2 other Alliance parties. Take a look at the letter above your Alliance, as this will become important later. If you are a tank, look to see if any other tanks are using their tank stance. If there's ever a question of who's the main tank, assume it is you. If you and another tank are fighting for boss aggro, go ahead and turn off tank stance, and if they keep aggro, let them have it. It's better than having your DPS have to run laps to hit positionals. There's no special rules for healers here, just keep an eye out for any debuffs that you can Asuna, as those can be very annoying in most 24-mans. Now, let's get to the raid. The first 3 arenas are a variety of trash packs that are simple tank and spanks. All tanks should have tank stance on during trash rooms so they can split up incoming damage. The only mobs of note are these lizard-like demons in the first room. They have a frontal cone that does a lot of damage, and getting hit with 2 will do massive damage and will probably kill you unless you are a tank who pops with cooldowns. If you are not a tank, be careful that you are never standing in front of these mobs. Just keep an eye out for the occasional tail swipe they have as well. In general for these, keep to the sides as much as possible. The other 2 rooms are standard demons with some frontal cones, but they won't pose too much of an issue. The Bone Dragon is a unique boss because depending on what data center you play on, the average duty funder group may have a different popular strategy. This is based on my experience on the North America data centers. The basics of this fight is to burn down the dragon and then kill the skeletons that spawn before they can run to the dragon's corpse. You will have to repeat this a couple times before the dragon stays dead. The most popular strategy is to tank the dragon to the far north of the arena. This will give DPS players more time to kill the skeletons before they explode. If you play on Aether, however, they tend to take a riskier approach. The Aether DC tends to tank in the middle of the room where there is a bit more uptime on the boss, but almost guarantees all the skeletons will explode. This is a very high-risk strategy, and if you are a healer, be ready to pop some cooldowns like a Scylla when you see the dragon collapse. A way to lessen the burn on healers is to use more AoE abilities when you see skeletons spawn into the room. Once the dragon is truly dead, click on the teleporter to be teleported back to the start of the raid to move on to the next wing. The next fight is where the Alliance letters come into play. Each Alliance needs to go into a certain lane. A will take the left lane, B will be the center, and C will take the right lane. In general, this is going to be a repeated pattern in almost every Alliance raid going forward. Wait by the door until every Alliance is in position and then it's safe to pull. 4 people will have to stand on the platforms at the beginning of the lanes in order to allow other Alliances to kill their Atomos. This will typically be the 2 healers and preferably 2 DPS, but if you see the button doesn't have enough people, it's very important you sacrifice your DPS to go stand on it. Failing to have 4 people on a platform will cause another Alliance's Atomos to become invulnerable, potentially causing a wipe. If you are a tank, please grab any adds that spawn from the Atomos and back them up slightly so people on the platform can DPS them at range. Again, I cannot stress this enough, if you are on the platform, please stay on the platform until it stops glowing. Only then will it be safe to step off. Thanatos is a fairly simple fight with one twist. When the fight is pulled, a tether will go out to everyone in Alliance A. This will give them a debuff that will reduce their damage to everything but Thanatos. Everyone else will do no damage to Thanatos and will need to focus on the adds. After a while, Alliance B will be hit by the boss tether debuff and A's debuff will drop off, meaning A will have to switch to adds and B will switch to attacking the boss. Usually the fight doesn't go long enough to give C the debuff, but it is possible. Once Thanatos is down, another portal will spawn to bring you back to the entrance and you can now access the 3rd and final wing. The trash here requires the 3 tanks to hold an individual demon at the outside of the ring. You want them to be far away from the bomb in the middle of the room. You can see the recommended Alliance positions here. Simply kill the bombs that spawn around your Alliance, kill the demon, and then burn down the bomb in the middle of the room when the 3 demons are dead. There is really only one mechanic that is super important in this fight: the comets. If you see this green marker above your head, you will have a rock drop on your position. This doesn't do damage, but it's important to keep it out of the boss's target ring if you can. Eventually, you will see King Behemoth cast Ecliptic Meteor, which will instantly kill you unless you put a rock between yourself and the boss. It is important to know that if the comet you're hiding behind is in the boss's hitbox, it will not protect you. If you are a tank, you will see Iron Giants spawn throughout the fight. Off-tanks should focus on these so the main tank isn't getting hit by extra monsters. These do a frontal cone attack that not only damage allies, but also the rocks people need to hide behind. If you have aggro on an Iron Giant, position yourself so that you're behind a rock, but try to point the giant away from the rocks and the party. Defeating King Behemoth opens the gate to the final boss, Phlegethon. This boss will require you to watch the boss's cast bar. When entering the arena, Alliance A will run to the left side of the circle, B will stand by the doorway, and C will run to the right. When the fight starts, tanks should hold the boss somewhere between the middle of the room and B's ring. This way, people have more warning for this boss's most dangerous mechanic, Ancient Flare. To do this mechanic, everyone will have to run to their Alliance's ring as soon as they see the spell begin casting. If any ring doesn't have enough people on it, the whole raid will wipe. When on the platform, there will be an Iron Giant to kill before the middle of the room is safe to enter again. Throughout the fight, claws will appear to stun a party member. Kill the claw to break them out, and it's just rinse and repeat until the boss is dead. Sometimes you can get away with only doing one Ancient Flare in a fight, but if the boss has more than 7% HP remaining when he is casting his second Ancient Flare, it is not worth risking the greed. With Phlegethon defeated, you're clear to enter the next raid, Circus Tower. Good job!